my portfolio. Pimp my portfolio.
We have a community member on the line who has submitted their portfolio to be put under the microscope for one of our experts to review and provide some ideas. Our expert in the studio today is Matt Ingram. Matt, welcome.
Thank you.
And on the line, we have Scott. Scott, welcome to Equity Mates.
Thanks, fellas. Nice to be here.
We appreciate you submitting. We know it's not easy, but we're really excited to get into this one. So before we jump in, Scott, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, cool. So I'm from Wollongong, New South Wales, and work in kind of the IT and steelmaking industry, and I guess been sort of investing for about 5 or 6 years.
Love it. Alrighty. Well, Ren, do you want to take us through Scott's portfolio?
Yeah, so Scott, I think, is running a bit of a core and satellite structure. 60% of his portfolio is split across 3 ETFs. We've got iShares ASX 200, we've got Vanguard All World ex-US, and we've got the iShares Core MSCI World ex-Australia ESG, IWLD.
Great.
So that's 60% of the fund. And then we've got some direct holdings. So here in Australia, we've got Catapult, Highcom, Stealth, and Strata Minerals. Overseas, we've got Novo Nordisk and Supermicro. And then Scott's got 3% of his portfolio in Bitcoin.
God, what a portfolio.
So some familiar names there.
Wow.
We've certainly chatted about them. Well, Scott, why don't you tell us a little bit about how this portfolio has come together?
Yeah, so I mean, this structure has probably only been there for about 18 months or so. Prior to that, there's a graveyard of red and a bunch of other stuff. And as for the ETFs, yeah, I guess I didn't want to go down the route of some of the more common ones, and that's why I went with the iWorld.
So you're saying over the last sort of 18 months, you've really started to build that sort of core and satellite approach?
I had a bit of a core earlier, so I had DHHF for a while, and then I wanted to take more control over my percentages and direct things a little bit more outside of the US rather than having 60-70% in DHHF in US.
Yeah, fair,
Nice.
fair. Well, Matt, initially, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, the core is actually looking really nice. This is my preferred core structure.
Okay.
If I'm going to do a core satellite approach, maybe not those exact names, but having the something sort of global or at least quite US centric. And we've got that in IWLD, which is 70% US. This is like a ESG version of that, but that's okay. It's not actually that different. And then you've got VEU, which is ex-USA. And then you've got the Aussie market. You've done it to 60% of the portfolio. And even the way you've weighted the individual ones, in terms of 15% of Aussie market and 18% VEU and then 27% for the all world, I think it's a really nice core. I think the interesting stuff comes in with the satellites.
Okay,
Wow.
well, big tick for the core. Love to hear that.
God, he hasn't said that about my core.
All right, well, where do you want to start with the satellites then, Matt?
Scott, is there any in particular that you wanted to chat about? Because there's a few there.
Strata's a bit of a watch position, so that's probably but Nova Nordisk, I'd be keen to get some insights or some thoughts on.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, Strata is actually the only one that I've put in big letters sell. And that's purely, if this was my portfolio, I would be dumping that just because it's such a small holding in there. Nothing against gold. I think you need some gold exposure, but I think something like a gold miners ETF that's going to give you a few more names in there would probably be appropriate. Novo Nordisk, yeah, I mean, it's had some pretty heavy falls over the last 12 months. It's come back a bit, potentially a bit oversold, but there's been increasing competition from Eli Lilly on the weight loss side of things. There's been some disappointing results on their weight loss drug in terms of the trials. They had their CEO that had been in there for 8 years that got axed last month. So just a lot going against it, looking a bit beat up. But I mean, if you're keen on that space, that whole weight loss drug movement, which I think there's definitely a future in that, then it's looking pretty cheap next to Eli Lilly, which is obviously one of the other big plays in that. So PE more around 20-ish compared to 60-ish of Eli Lilly. It is getting pretty heavy. I mean, 8% in a single stock, especially something that is fairly volatile and can move pretty quickly. I would put it as a hold for now, if not a bit of a trim and then hold, just because it's getting heavy. But I think hang in there.
So, Matt, I want to ask you about Scott's largest individual stock holding, which is a stock that I also own. So I'm interested to get your thoughts. Catapult, ASX ticker CAT.
Yeah, Ren, I know you like it as well. I know you've got it. Not to go against what I just said. I just said Novo Nordisk getting a bit big. You might trim it. But Catapult, I think, has just got a long way to go. It might be a big part of the portfolio now. It might be a bit expensive, but without going into too much detail, because you've talked about it here a bit before, I mean, it's a great company. I think it's got a long way to go. Clear leader in the space. Plenty of markets that they haven't tapped into yet. I would hold that for sure.
Yeah,
Nice.
that one for me. Let your winners run.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, I like that one.
Big time. Let your winners run and cut the weeds out. Get rid of Strata.
So, Scott, while you've got Matt here, what questions did you have about your satellite portfolio that you want to get him to share some thoughts on?
If someone had a lump sum and that they wanted to start investing in a portfolio like this, let's say it was, another 25% on top of what's there, how would you go about approaching that with mainly divesting it into the core?
I mean, I have this problem all the time when I'm managing portfolios for clients that have a core or that are taking a core and satellite approach, and then some money comes in, whether it's a small amount, a large amount. It's like, okay, where does this go? Does it go to the core or does it go to the satellite? For me, the decision comes down to where are we in terms of the broader market, what's happening. If the market's down and I expect that everything's going to be sort of rising together, so that recent Liberation Day, everything got smashed, everything was down, and it was pretty clear that, well, everything's down, most of these are probably going to start pulling back up. That's where the market made sense to go into it. But when the market's at an all-time high like it is now, that's where I'm thinking, okay, is there better opportunities, a bit more value in some of the single names and some of the satellites? If there are no satellites that you're looking at that you think look cheap or good value or just a good opportunity at the moment, then just default to the core. Just go there. But if there are satellites that you're looking at right now that look good, then I would be thinking a bit more closely about them.
I find that interesting. So Scott's got a 60-40 split, and let's assume, Scott, that 60-40 is the split you want. You wouldn't take a lump sum and split it 60-40 to keep that weighting the same?
Yeah, you could. Yeah, no, you absolutely could. Like if it's a large enough lump sum that you could do that. I guess when I'm doing it, it's normally things like, small amounts coming in, a bit more of a dollar cost average approach where it's like, okay, I have to pick one. If it's substantial enough that brokerage isn't going to kill you by splitting it into, 5 different holdings, then try to keep that weighting. Like I said before, that 60% core is really good. How you've got that core split up is really good. But if you're going to be adding to everything,
yeah, then you got to think about cost.
Start thinking about the costs involved. Yeah. So if it's not enough, that's where you might just think more about the satellites.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. What would be kind of the one thing you would change?
The one thing I would change.
Nice.
Oh, sell Bitcoin.
No,
Really?
I'm joking. I'm definitely joking.
What do you think about the crypto allocation? 3% of the portfolio in Bitcoin.
I think that's suitable. 3 to 5%. Like any other holding, I think is Bryce is nodding, but I know he's.
Yeah, more than that.
Yeah. I think the Bitcoin allocation is good. If I was going to make one big change, I mean, it's not a big change, but really I would just sell Strata, get some more diversified gold exposure. There's ETFs out there like GDX that just get you all of these gold miners and explorers, and you can get all of these names, get a bigger allocation towards that. Gold's run hard, but having some exposure to it in the portfolio is good, and keeping that as just one little holding in Strata Minerals probably isn't enough. So that'd be my big change.
Okay.
Nice. Well, Scott, I think, great portfolio, some good stock picks. Matt loved your core, so a lot to like there. So Keep on keeping on, and we appreciate you sharing your portfolio with us today.
Awesome. Thanks very much, guys. I really appreciate it.
And Matt, thank you so much for spending your time with not only Scott today, but all of the other community members that submit their portfolios. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much.
If you would like to submit to Pimp My Portfolio, head to equitymates.com/contact and you can fill in the form there. If you'd like to speak to Matt or any of the other handpicked advisors in our network, head to equitymates.com/advice. Fill in the form and we will connect you.
I will say this about investing. Everything you do learn is cumulative. What I learned at 20 is useful.
Equity.